What is going on? Welcome to No Chill Promos. How y'all doing? Hope having a blessed weekend if you're watching this still. Before I get started on this review for TNA, just gotta do a quick shout out to all subscribers to the channel and to the followers on Rumble. It says like I'm over 400, but still I want to wait, right? Because again, it still fluctuates between 1 to 2. So at any point, it could drop back down to $3.99. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna wait. Give it a few more days, make sure it's official. Then I'll post the 6 through 10 favorite female wrestlers of all time. But up until then, I'm gonna keep on going. But thank you to all the subs and all the followers on Rumble. I truly appreciate it. I truly do. But enough of that, let's get into this review. Alright. And one thing I can appreciate about TNA is that instead of, because I was going to recap last week's show because I didn't get to do it, but they did it for me. You know, at least the most important shit that happened last week. And thank you. You know, it's crazy how much better TNA is than WWE. Like, I'm not kidding when I tell you it's the same shit that they do every single week, where we see this random wrestlers is walking into the building. And sometimes TNA does that, but it's not every fucking week. You know what I mean? Like this time, we get a recap. You know, the shit that happened last week, right? And then we get straight into a promo from I Believe in Joe Hendry. Dun, dun. You know what I mean? Like, I don't give a fuck who's walking into the building. Don't care. They're not the NWO for life. Who cares? None of these people are cool. Right? This shit isn't cool. Alright, I don't give a fuck about Judgment Day walking into the fucking staging area. You know what I mean? It's just so fucking stupid, but I digress. Alright, small little recap from last week. We see the reigning, defending, undisputed TNA Knockouts World Champion Marsha Slamovic defends her title against the lovely JC Jane from Fatal Influence. It was a decent match. I'm surprised JC got much offense as she did in the match, but the outcome was inevitable because she got her ass whooped. Masha hits the snowplow, 1, 2, 3. Masha goes over. Then after the match, the chin says, know your damn role. Know your role. Tessa Blanchard comes through, starts whooping Masha's ass. And then we see the sexy Layling Lee, Isaiah Brookside coming through for the save. So they're teaming up, JC and Fatal Influence. So Tessa Blanchard here this week. We'll get to that here in a little bit. We see Eric Young, who is the leader of the Northern Armory, go up against Ace Austin. And Ace Austin got his ass whooped. EY hits that pile driver. 1, 2, 3. Eric Young goes over. Cuts a promo. He says, I am the one. What you saw up there was true leadership. This is a true family, Steve. That is all I'm trying to show you, Steve. Join us. Join the Northern Armory. Then in the main event, it was the wanted man, Nick Nemeth, versus the youngest in charge, my nigga Leon Slater. Good match, but again, this match was predictable because at the end, Leon got his ass whooped. Nick hits the super kick into the danger zone, yeah. 1, 2, 3, Nick Nemeth goes over. After the match, he gets his ass whooped by Nick and Nick Nemeth's brother. Then we see the Hardy Boys coming out for the save, and they issue the challenge at Rebellion at the end of the month. I believe it's on the 27th of April. It's going to be the Hardy Boys versus the Nemeth Brothers for the TNA Tag Team titles. That is pretty much all that happened last week. It was a decent episode. And before I get started with this week's episode, I found out that Delirious is now head of creative. So all the good shit that happens on this show, give him praise. Even though I was listening to Jim Cornette, because that's how I found out. he was saying how Delirious, he's a humble guy. Like, he doesn't want to be given credit for the work that he does. He's a constant professional, and I respect that. But hey, I give credit where credit is due. He was doing a good job as a booker, then let it be known. You know what I mean? If he fucks up, then let that be known. So moving forward, Delirious is in charge of creative here in TNA, and Tommy Dreamer is in charge of talent relations. So to start off this week's show, we see the reigning, defending, undisputed TNA World Heavyweight Champion, I believe in Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry comes out for commentary. We then see the King here at TNA, King Kaz, aka Frankie Kazarian. He comes out with his match against Ezekiel, aka Elias, aka Elijah. I'm not going to break down any of these matches this week because I'm already late as it is. So we're going to fast forward to the finish. Alright, we see Frankie Kazarian throw Elijah into the turn post. He then talks his shit against Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry gets up, tries to hit the standing ovation. Kaz counters, pushes his ass into Elijah. Fast forward, Kaz rolls up Elijah. 1, 2, 3, King Kaz goes over. Joe says, fuck that shit. Gets in the ring, hits a double-legged takedown to Kaz, and we see top flight security coming through, try to break these guys up. Then we see Elijah, who he's the one that got fucked over. Like, he's the one that lost the damn match, but yet he's the calmest one there. Alright, he's like, Joe, calm the fuck down. It's okay. Tranquilo. Relax. Right? Joe calms down. Then go backstage with Joe Hendry and Eric Young's brother. It seems that Joe might have sustained an injury. I think it's kayfabe. I hope it's kayfabe, because that would be shitty if he's legitimately injured. You know what I mean? He just became champion. Like, I don't want to see another Finn Balor, because he never recovered after vacating the Universal title. Never. He never did. And it's so fucking sad. Right? But I don't want that to happen to Joe Hendry, so hopefully he ain't injured. But we fast forward, we see the system. Last week, apparently, this was a digital exclusive. Eddie Edwards was applying that pressure to the system. He said, enough is enough, and it's time for a change. So this week here in St. Joseph, Eddie Edwards comes out. He says, last week, proud boost the fuck out of him. He says, last week, I made it be known that the system needs a change. Now, if you're not down with my vision for the system, then you need to turn in your ring and get the hell out of here. So, without further ado, the system come out here right now. So, Brian Myers, Moose, JDC, and Alicia Edwards all come out. He goes to JDC first. He says, JDC, I've known you for a long time, and I need to know, are you in or are you out? JDC says,
man, do I hate pro wrestling.
No, I'm just playing either. So that would never not be funny. But he says, shut up, town, I'm in. He then goes to Brian Myers. He says, brother, we were a 2-time TNA Tag Team Champions in this company, and I need to know, are you in or are you out? Brian Myers says, I'm in. Let's finish what we started. He then goes to Alicia Edwards. He says, baby, you're my ride or die, and I know you better than anybody here in this company. But I need to know, are you in or are you out? Alicia says, do you wanna know something? She's in. And then they start making out. And then nobody wants to see that. No, nobody wants to see that shit. I don't give a fuck if it's Alicia and Eddie, fucking Mance and Steph Delander, or fucking Taya Valkyrie and Johnny TV, Johnny Nitro, Johnny Extreme, whatever fucking wants to call himself. No one wants to see that. Then he heads over to Moose. He says, Moose, you're the big man here in the system, brother, and you know exactly what greatness means. My question to you is, are you in or are you out? And before Moose can answer his question, we see Cody Deaner coming out. The people's choice. Now, I can't do his raspy ass voice, but he comes out, he says that St. Joseph, I think the people want to see a firing here in the system. But Moose, before you answer that question, I think you need to leave it up to the people. So to all the good folk here in St. Joseph, Missouri, do you want to see Moose in the system? They boo, they're like, boo. Now, do you want to see Moose leave the system? And they all cheered. Moose grabs the mic. He says that, you know what, Cody, as much as I hate to admit it, I have to say the people are right. He then one-shots Cody Deaner, then that's it for this segment. So the system are still in full effect, alright, but they are teasing a babyface turn for Moose. We move on backstage with Xia Brookside, the gorgeous Layling Lee, and the reigning, defending, undisputed TNA Knockouts World Champion, Musa Slamovic. And I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, look at this gorgeous ass woman that is Layling Lee. How do you fire her? How? It's like, how, Sway? How do you do that? I don't understand. I'm bamboozled. You know what I mean? I'm flabbergasted. It doesn't make any sense to me. But I digress. They all cut a promo, and I'll let you hear for yourselves.
Gia, I feel great. But let's be real. Tessa Blanchard couldn't find a single friend here in TNA. So she had to run all the way to NXT just to find backup. That should tell you everything you need to know about her.
And Jesse, Justman, Tessa's problem is your problem now.
Strong words from both of you, but Masha, you'll be leading this team into battle tonight. What's your message for your opponents?
Tessa, you have burnt every single bridge, and I don't care who you align yourself with. Tonight, we're gonna drag you out of that ring because you're pathetic and you're washed up. And JC and Jasmine, we're gonna send you packing back to NXT because Tessa, you're gonna get exactly what you deserve.
Moving on, we go backstage with the system, and Santino Morella, he says, "Oh, you must be all proud of yourselves, huh? But I have a message for you, Moose, and that the first person that's gonna be in the Ultimate X match at Rebellion is Leon Slater." Moose is like, okay, ooh. And he's not the only one. Why don't you check the social medias for the second person that is going to be in the Ultimate X match. And don't worry, I have matches for all you come next week. And it turns out the second person is Mr. Always Ready. Major player himself, Matt Cardona. Right? And then Brian Myers was like, I can tell you all about that guy. He's like, we know. We know, Edgehead. We know. Alright, but we move on to the next match. We see that liaison for NXT and TNA. The beautiful, the gorgeous Ariana Grace. Right, we have Spitfire coming out. And we have Metaphor coming out. And this was easily my favorite match of the night. And I said earlier, I'm not going to break down any matches. I'm not going to. But I would love to see a feud between Spitfire and Metaphor. I'm trying to see Danny Luna versus Last Legend.
Yeah, boy.
That's what I'm trying to see. So we fast forward to the finish, and there was a spot where Jody was chopping shit out of both of them. You then see Lash, he almost drops Shakara on her ass, and the crowd's like, oh shit. They were trying to tell the story. It's like, oh, they're gonna miscommunication. It's just the start of the end for Metaphor. Well, I know they get the shit together. They're the tag team finisher. 1, 2, 3. Metaphor, Lash, Jakara. I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. Ooh, I am for real. Jackson, about that action, goes over. Moving on backstage, we see my nigga Mike Santana. He introduced some jobber named Derek to Santino. Right, he was saying basically, his name's Derek. I met him at the AA meeting. He's 3 months sober, and I appreciate you hooking him up here at TNA. Just take care of him like you took care of me. Alright, I'm out of here. You're in good hands, Derek. He bounces, and then Santimorella, he says, oh, Derek. He's like, no, it's Derek. Oh, Derek, it's good to meet you. 3 months sober? Oh, that's one for the Father, one for the Son, and one for the Holy Spirit. Come with me. That's what happened here. We then get a promo from the Hardy Boys, who are the reigning, defending, undisputed TNA Tag Team Champions. Matt Hardy. I appreciate Matt's promo here. He was pissed off, as he should be, because he got his ass whooped by the Nemeth brothers. Matt says, once upon a time, we had nothing but the utmost respect for Nick Nemeth. After what he did to me in that steel cage match, I have this scar. Cameraman, zoom in on this scar, because this scar symbolizes the pain that my children went through. The scar symbolizes the rage that I have towards Nick Nemeth. And this scar symbolizes the ass kicking that the Nemeth brothers are going to receive from the hands of the Hardy Boys, because I will delete their vessels from this existence. Alright, Jeff then grabs the mic. He says, apparently, unbeknownst to me, these guys are stand-up comedians. And their GOAT joke is that they call themselves the greatest tag team of all time. And then Jeff laughs. He's like, that's fucking insane. And then he's like, looking at Matt. Matt no-sold it, and I appreciate that. Matt ain't fucking around. He wants to whoop both their asses, as you should. I'm not, fuck a laugh. I'm not here to laugh. I'm here to beat some ass. Alright? But Jeff says, when it comes down to the greatest tag team of all time, you're looking at them. And then they get interrupted by the great hands. Tasha Steelz. John Schuyler says, look, we get it. The crowd is booing the fuck out of him. John says, shut up. It's just the way he said it. He meant that shit. Shut the fuck up. Just unintentionally funny. Shit like that. But he says, we get it. You guys are trailblazers, legends. We've been doing this for a really, really long time. Over 3 decades. We got it. But this isn't 1999 anymore. This is 2025. And it's all about these great hands. Matt cuts him off. He says, yeah, back in 1999, we were great then. We're even greater now in 2025, because we're the greatest tag team of all time. And don't you forget it. John then says, well, if there's anybody that knows about being great, it's these great hands. So why don't we show you just how great we truly are? Right? Jeff then says, St. Joseph, Missouri, do you guys want to join Team Extreme here tonight when we whoop the great hands' ass? Crowd cheer. They then get interrupted by Santimorella. Santino says, you guys are making this too easy for me. Tonight, it will be the Great Hands versus the Hard Boys. Right here in St. Joseph, Missouri. Crowd cheered. We get the match. And quick side note, I know I've been harsh on Tasha Steelz, in the past, but I gotta admit, she's been looking hella good here lately. I ain't gonna hold you. Keep doing what you're doing, Tasha. Keep doing what you're doing, because you're looking good out there. Right, but we get the match. Got Great Hands versus the Hardy Boys. Man, it's gonna go just about as you would expect. Fast forward to the finish. Hardy Boys hit the plot twist into the Swanton Bomb. 1, 2, 3. The Hardy Boys go over. And as much as I love for the Great Hands to become tag team champions, it ain't gonna happen right now. Then go backstage with Nick Nemeth's brother, who's wearing a Cameron Brink jersey. I had to look this up. I'm like, 22? I'm like, who the fuck is 22? Because I don't watch the WNBA, nor do I know anyone that watches the WNBA. The only players I know off rip would be Lisa Knousley, Brittany Griner, or Grinner, I think that's how you say her name, and Angel Reese, because everybody keeps talking about how sexy she is. Oh, and Last Legend, she was a former player herself. So yeah, he's rocking that jersey for whatever reason. You saw him out, oh, great. Just look how good the Hardy Boys are. And then we see Leon Slater. He was like, hey, I'm not going to let you talk all that bollocks about my boys. And I didn't forget about that cheap shot you landed on me last week. And then Ryan was like, man, well, are you going to do something about it? Why don't I do to you what Nick did to Matt? Leon then shoves Ryan. He says, yeah, get me. And then, they start fighting or whatever. Top flight security breaks it up. That's all that happens here. We're going to go backstage. We get an injury report with the doc, Eric Young's brother, and Gia. He says that Joe has sustained a grade 3 sprain in his rotator cuff. The time of recovery depends. We don't know. So it is in question if Joe Hendry will even be able to defend his TNA World Heavyweight Championship at Rebellion. We then get a promo from Mance Warner and the reigning, defending, undisputed digital media champion, that is Steph DeLander. Alright. Mance says, you show some respect to my baby girl. Just the way he said it. We're stars. We're your champions. Hell, we're even on magazines. And then they show that they're on the cover of TNA Weekly. Well, good for them. Nobody's meaner than us. Nobody's tougher than us. Hell, nobody is prettier than us. Baby girl, give old Mance some sugar. And they start making out, and again, it's like no one wants to see that. And thank God for Santino Morella. He comes and breaks it up, and he says, stop it. No one wants to see that. It's disgusting, it's gross, it's a family show. Alright, but I here to make an announcement that from here on out, you will no longer be the digital media championship. You can't inherit it from a divorce. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with your brains? Long ago, at Unbreakable, there was a triple threat match of Samoa Joe, Christopher Daniels, and AJ Styles. That match put TNA on the map. So here, this year, in 2025, Unbreakable is coming back on the 17th of April. And there will be a new title. Because what did they say? From the ashes arise a Beth Phoenix. And then the crowd was like, huh? Like, the fuck's he talking about? There will be the TNA International Championship, and to commemorate the triple threat at Unbreakable, all the matches in this tournament will be a 3-ways. So give me the damn belt. So your Gobaz, your Sayonara's, your Riva Dirt Cheese, give me the belt now. Give it to me now. Give it to me. Then out of nowhere, we see Sami Callihan. He chokes out Mance Warner, throws his punk ass off the stage. Mance Warner is down. Mance Warner is down. We see Sammy, he's rocking an eye patch. It's like, what's with people rocking eye patches now? First, it was, I seen Drew McIntyre, he's rocking a fucking eye patch. Now fucking Sami Callihan's rocking an eye patch. What's going on here? Alright, but he leaves. Alright, Steph surrenders the Digital Media Championship. We then move on backstage with the NPC Derek. Tasha shows up. She says that Ali would like a word with you. So the Great Hands give this man a luxurious, comfortable ride in the back of their trunk to go meet in Ali. We trust the greatest politician of all time, Mustafa Ali. He says, it's good to meet you, Derek. Now, I must apologize for this abrupt meeting, but you see, I'm in a bit of a conundrum, if you will. Right? You yourself, you must be happy, aren't you? 3 months sober. Congratulations. But you know who isn't happy? I heard about what happened last year. There was a certain family involved. A little girl could no longer walk because of your actions. Because of you. You're a monster. You're an addict. And because of you, that little girl will never have the life that she could have had. And look at you. Walk around here like everything's all fine and dandy. You will always be an addict. You disgust me. Spits on him. Get out of here. Get him out of my sight. Jason was like, well, why are you letting him go? Ali says, because he's an addict. They destroyed themselves. And that's it. great segment, but ain't no fucking way if I'm Derek, am I agreeing to be spit on by anybody? You got me fucked up. I don't give a fuck how much money they're paying. You ain't spitting on me. I have too much pride within myself to allow that to happen. You know what I mean? So I hope the check was worth it. That's all I'm saying. We then go backstage with the concierge and Heather by Elegance. He says that Ash by Elegance decided she needs a break, and I completely 110% agree. Champions deserve a break. While she's on this super extravagant Elegance retreat, I thought to myself, well, why don't we recruit somebody new into the Dream Team? And I got my eyes on Maggie Lee. I've seen her work in Explosion, and she's good. She's really good. And just with a touch of elegance, she can reach her true potential. And he chose Maggie Lee because she was a former Black and Brave graduate along with Heather Reckless, so it makes sense. 2 graduates in the same team. I gotcha. Moving on, we go backstage with Santi Morella. He announces the first match for the International Championship. It is Eddie Edwards, Ace Austin, and Stephen Macklin. Then see the announcement that El Hijo del Vikingo is coming back at Rebellion. He's been out for a minute. I know he had some injuries. Hopefully he's good to go. I don't want companies to start viewing him as a liability because he keeps getting injured, you know what I mean? Because that's terrible. I don't want any wrestler to be injured. You know what I mean? That's their living, Unless you're in AEW to where you get paid to do absolutely fucking jack shit. You know what I mean? It's hard out there. We move on to a 6-woman tag team match. Right, we have Fatal Influence coming out with JC Jane, Jasmine Nix, and the sexy Fallon Henley, and who always looks good. All these women are sexy, don't get me wrong, but Fallon Henley, she's the best out of the group. Sorry, not sorry. Right, but they're teaming up with the Unbreakable Diamond. Do you smell what the chin is cooking? The chin says, know your damn role. Know your role. Tessa Blanchard. Right, they're going up against the gorgeous Layling Lee, the beautiful Xia Brookside, and the reigning, defending, undisputed TNA Knockouts World Champion, Mother Russia. It was a good match. I enjoyed it, but I gotta fast forward to the finish. Right, Masha is about to hit the Requiem pile driver onto JC, I believe it was. But we see Fallon, she causes a traction. For Tessa hits the Hammerlock DDT, aka the Buzzsaw. 1, 2, 3. Tessa, JC, Jasmine, go over. I said this before. I would not be surprised if Tessa beats Masha for that belt. And it's just a question of who's gonna beat Tessa for the belt. You could try to build up Xia Brookside to get the job done. You could try to build up Layling Lee to get the job done. You got some options. You do. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. We then go backstage with Santi Morella, and he's here to announce the next 3 participants for the TNA International Championship. We have Sami Calhoun, Eric Young, and Dirty Dango. We then check in with Mike Santana. He's backstage. He finds Derek. He's all fucked up, inebriated. Mike was like, yo, Derek, snap out of it. Yo, what's going on, B? What's up? And then what the fuck happened to him? He's like, yo, we just found him like this. I don't know. Mike was like, motherfucker. Storms off. And then we go backstage one more time with Santi Morella, who's here to announce 3 more participants for the International Championship. We have Zachary Wentz, Mr. Matt Warner, and AJ Francis. Right, then we see Sami Callihan. He shows up. He says, damn it, Santino, I don't give a damn who you guys switch out. If it's Zachary, if it's AJ, I want my hands on Mance Warner. Santino says, that's not going to happen. That's not how this works. Sammy says, you look me in my eye. You don't want to see what's going to happen if I don't get my hands on Mance Warner. Santino says, you make a good point. Alright. But that's all that happened here. So we move on. We get a promo from the king of TNA, King Killer Cass, aka Frankie Kazarian, rocking his Burlington Coat Factory jacket. But he says, hold on there, St. Joseph. I got some unfortunate news. What am I saying? I love giving you marks some unfortunate news. But your TNA World Heavyweight Champion Joe Hendry has sustained an injury earlier tonight, and at Rebellion, I'm letting it be known that the King of TNA is officially going to call his shot against Joe Hendry. Because I for damn sure ain't going to call my shot at no trash ass St. Joseph, Missouri. We're going to do it at the greatest state here in the United States of America, California. SoCal, the King's backyard, because the West Coast is the best coast because the King told you so. We didn't see it's not confidence, it's all ego. Mr. Ethan Page returning to the Impact Zone. He says, wow, this place has changed a lot since I last been here. And the King says, yeah, and that's because of the King. Thank you very much. And Ethan says, yeah, thank you, Frankie, for ending the pandemic. The King didn't tell you to enter the King's ring. Ethan says, look, I respect the fact that you're calling your shot on an injured Joe Hendry. I respect it. I respect game. Game recognizes game. And most likely you're going to cash in and become the new TNA World Heavyweight Champion. There's a problem. Because you see Joe for weeks, he came out here yapping about he put his belt on the line against anybody from any company. All you got to do is just talk to Santino with a good idea to make it happen. And guess what? That's exactly what I did. I talked to Santino a couple days ago, and I gave him the greatest idea he's ever heard. Because at Rebellion, I will be challenging Joe Hendry for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. Cass becomes livid. He says, no fucking way. You're not going to come crawling back to my company, stealing my shot at the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. And Ethan was like, whoa. Well, since you're being such a good sport about it, I'll tell you what. I'll give you the first shot at my TNA World Heavyweight Championship. Cass then goes to attack Ethan. Ethan ducks, lays his ass out, and then that's it. Now, this might have been a surprise to many, not me, because I got spoiled. I remember seeing this shit online somewhere. I think it was Reddit. It's my fault for going on there in the first place, so it is what it is. So at Rebellion, it's going to be Ethan Page, Frankie Kazarian, and Joe Hendry for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. I want Cass to win. I do. Honestly, I do. I said it I want either Cass or Mustafa Ali to be the next champion. But they might fuck around and give it to Ethan Page. They might pull the trigger. But that's only if Joe Hendry is indeed injured. Because if not, and it's just a whole work that they're doing, then Joe Hendry is going to go over on both of them at Rebellion. Alright, and then for Frankie, this is the closest opportunity that he has to becoming the TNA World Heavyweight Champion. So if they don't pull the trigger now, they never will. So hopefully he wins, but it remains to be seen. That's it for this week's episode, TNA. Let me know your guys' thoughts, your favorite moment, and all that good shit. But if you like, hate if you hate. It's all the same to me. I just want to see the engagement and the feedback from you guys. As far as the next video, I'm not entirely sure. Depends on how much time I have. I still gotta do I'll probably do the fantasy booking of Undertaker and Kane. Probably knock that out. And then I'll probably do the 6 through 10 favorite female wrestlers of all time video. Then I gotta do a review for Dynasty, AEW. So yeah, a bunch of shit I gotta do. I still got fucking NWA as well that I catch up on, and let's fucking go. I don't want to drop it. I enjoyed the first episode, I enjoyed the concept, I just haven't sat down to watch the episodes, but I will. I'll get to it when I can. But wasting enough of you guys' time, and I always enjoy doing these TNA reviews. It's easy. It's too fucking easy. Because I enjoy the product. Alright, so you get the best of me when it comes to TNA. Like, it's not, when I do Raw, I'm annoyed because it fucking sucks. Honestly, it does. Like, it's just a shit product. You know, with TNA, like NXT, they're easy to cover, you know. But with that said, be safe, be blessed, take care of yourself, protect you and yours, loved ones, stay warm, stay dry, stay frosty. But most importantly, trust in God. God be with you. I'm out of here. Until next time, adios.